How you doing, guys? We're back for another whiskey review. Going to be looking at a blend this time out, and we're going to be looking at Teacher's Highland Cream. So this was $28.11 in the NSLC. It's a very well-priced kind of considered a bottom shelf sort of blend, I guess. It's a budget blend. It sits in price comparison kind of under Johnny Walker and similar blends to this. But don't let that fool you into thinking it's necessarily bad. So this is from Glasgow, Scotland. It was started by William Teacher. The company is still William Teacher and Sons, but they're owned currently by Beam Suntory, which of course Jim Beam was bought up by Suntory a little while back, and Beam owned them previously, so they basically just brought in the brand. Teachers has been owned by several other sort of big conglomerate drink companies over the years. So it was first established in 1830 by William Teacher. He died, I think, in the 1870s, somewhere around there, and his sons carried on and actually registered the name Teacher's Highland Cream in 1884. In 1840, I got that wrong, in 1898, excuse me, they opened Ardmore, which is an Islay distillery, and that's where they get their sort of peated malt. They're sort of famous for having peat content in their malts. So they use that as a good supplier of malts and peated malts at that. They acquired Glendronach in 1960 so they could have a sherried component to their blend. Due to the different conglomerates that I talked about buying these guys up over the years, Glendronach eventually fell away and was acquired by someone else and was mothballed. It was shut down in 1996 and then rebought and reopened by the Chivas brothers, and I think that was around 2002-ish, somewhere around there. So Glendronach's no longer in this, but this is a bit of a standout for blends as it contains 45% malt content. That's 45% single malts in this, compared to most blends which have about 20 to 30%, and then of course the rest is grain whiskeys. Let's see, anything else we need to know about this? I'm trying to think. I do have some cheat notes here, but I didn't write a lot down. No, I think that's about it. I'll just quickly go through the other expressions that they currently have. They have a Teacher's 50, which is their 12-year-old blend. It's 50% malt and 50% whiskey, so it's a 50-50 ratio. It's a whole gimmick thing, They have Teacher's Origin, which is 65% malt. That's probably, I didn't do research on this, but that's probably the highest malt content for a blend that you're going to find. And then they have Teacher's 25-year-old. And also, of course, the Ardmore distillery that they own have their own sort of line of single malts. And I haven't had any of those, but apparently they're pretty goddamn good. This is caramel colored, and I've had this sitting here for about 5 to 10 minutes now to open up a little bit. So we'll look at it. They sort of say on their website that it's not caramel colored, that their color comes from the peated malts that they use or whatever, but from every other source I can see, they basically do caramel color this just for consistency's sake. And I think you'll pretty much find every blend kind of does that, and a lot of single malts do that these days, so there you go. But it's a very golden amber color. Definitely a little bit brighter and more golden than some. So there we go. I don't know how many parts per million peat in this, but anyway, we'll take a look and see what we think of this. Okay, so the nose is pretty simple, but it's really nice. Right up front, there's kind of a toffee-ish, honeyed malt character here. Not anything very big. Dominant note on it is the peat smoke. You have this really nice mixture of sweetness and peat smoke there. It's fairly pronounced, and it smells very good, especially for a peat lover like myself. It's very inviting. Hey there, sweetie, what are you doing? Where's your ball? You got to bring your ball if you want me to throw it. Oh, you're just gonna have some water, are you? That's a good girl. Alright, yeah, so it smells very good. It's very simple, just some really nice direct notes, nice peat, nice honeyed malt, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of a kind of a toffee-ish character there. Nothing too big, nothing too complex or anything like that. So we'll go right to the taste. Cheers. So she's incredibly smooth. It's got a good sort of lower medium body to it. Really coats the mouth with that sort of combo of sweetness and peat there. Again, it's kind of a really 1-2 punch kind of thing. More of a honeyed sweetness character there from the malt. And again, that peat smoke sort of going all over the sides of your mouth and the roof of your mouth. Back of the tongue. You get a little bit of wood in the finish. There is a nice little kind of treacle character here. A bit of a licorice kind of thing coming out a little bit. And it's very simple. It finishes fairly dry. With a little bit of sweetness, and of course just, again, nice peat smoke. It's not a peat bomb by any stretch of the imagination. It's just meant to be a very easy to drink, but yet slightly more complex than your usual everyday blends. And on those sort of standards, it works very, very well. This is kind of something you want on your shelf at all times, just to have it, especially if you don't have the extra dollars for some Johnny Walker. This would be an excellent substitute for that. I like it. I think I am going to buy it again. Apparently this fell out of favor for a few years. Apparently the sort of malt that they used in it wasn't very good, and it had fallen in quality, but it seems pretty good right now, so I'm kind of thinking it's kind of clawing its way back. And that seems to be some of the consensus I see online for the sort of nominal research I did for this. But yeah, this is perfectly acceptable stuff. I dare... Yeah, you know, I'm going to go B+. I was going to go for a solid B here, but I do like this. It's got a little bit extra something going on for it, and so I'm going to sit this at a B+. So Teacher's Highland Cream, very, very good, just sort of quote-unquote bottom shelf blend, you know. Kind of a meaningless term these days, I think. You're very rarely going to find a shitty whiskey, because shitty whiskeys don't sell. And especially at the prices that whiskeys are at these days. It's very rare to find shitty whiskeys. So, and Teacher's is definitely not one of them. Definitely worth picking up. And I've rambled on long enough. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.